Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes,
Loud and clear.
absolutely.
All right. As I was listening to you guys describe your past history, I mean, it dovetails with mine. I remember back in the day, I've been involved now 34 years with New Skin. And I remember when I first started, it was a very difficult time out there. You know, we were in the Great Recession, worst time since the Great Depression. And you know what? We started talking about a vision, really a light in the dark. And I saw our company go from 40 million in sales to 500 million in 21 months. And we were just telling a story of hope. And because of that, because opportunity had been cut off to a lot of entrepreneurial people, they came our way in droves. And as they did that, that's how you get that kind of hockey stick growth from 40 million to 500 million in just a short period of time. I mean, if you put that into the calculator today, in today's dollar, that's over $1 billion. Okay, in today's dollars. And so dramatic. I mean, one of the fastest growing companies ever in North America. And that set the stage for me. I worked hard for 2 years, came up for air, had a lot of great people in my organization. And it's interesting, I learned something during that time was to take action before everyone else moved. You know, as time went on, New Skin expanded around the world. One in particular I remember was when they went into Thailand. And based off of my experience when I first started, I thought you have to hit this thing hard and fast at the right moment before everyone else does. You know, Wen talked about innovators and early adopters. What you're really looking at with the population base out there, about 15% of the population are in the first two categories called innovators and early adopters. They tend to grasp onto an opportunity or a technology or anything that permeates the culture earlier than the rest. The other 85%, early majority, late majority, and laggards, that's what makes up the masses. They come at a later time. So I learned that lesson early on. I remember when they were going to open Thailand. Now we just, had opened Japan earlier with New Skin. Just a side note for you guys watching this, wondering about our opportunity. First year in Japan, we did more volume our first year than Coca-Cola did their first year, record setting. And it set people in motion financially that just got an unbelievable experience as they helped develop the organizations. And so we played off that energy. And I remember when Thailand was going to open, I told 4 of my friends, let's go after Thailand. And we just started grabbing anything Thai. Never been there, never talked to anybody in Thai, don't speak the language. But we just started to grab people that we thought had connections to Thailand. That led to Los Angeles. I live here in Utah, by the way. That leapfrogged to Los Angeles. A lot of ties there. They started to contact people they knew in Thailand. And the story was real simple. We're going into Thailand. It hasn't happened yet. It's about 9 months out. Everywhere we've gone before has been a dramatic growth wave. And those people that have acted early have done well. Maybe that would be you. And that was the story. And we told it over and over and over again for 9 months. Now, fast forward 9 months. They opened the market. I have to make a calculated guess. Felt pretty good. Felt like we had some people that were interested. So I rented the largest hotel in Bangkok, Thailand, Emerald Hotel. It seats 2,500 in its ballroom. And we did 2 sessions, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, right? We're going to train these guys, whoever showed up. Well, we're anticipating that we'd done well. First session in the morning, all 2,500 seats filled up. So we trained them. The second session in the afternoon, 2,500 more new people showed up. So me and my 4 friends trained 5,000 people the first day that Thailand opened. Now think about that for a minute. As impressive as that is, 3 weeks later, the month ended. In other words, so that would be the month end volume where everyone gets their orders in, signups, that whole thing, right? That 5,000 turned into over 30,000 distributors by the end of that month. You know what happens when 30,000 people order their product? It's like magic. Just like bam. And it's like, oh my gosh, how'd this happen? Well, some of the people that didn't see the same vision accused me of cheating. Some of them said that you must have had some kind of information we didn't. Some of them said that you knew something the others didn't. No, we just took action before the masses did. We just went out and talked when most wouldn't. We were looking for those 15%ers that would move, and we talked to the masses. Some of those guys came later, but you know what? It was over before it started. How are you going to compete with 30,000 distributors the first month if you're not part of that group? It's pretty hard, right? what I learned was this: you've got to move before the masses do if you want to take advantage of a huge opportunity. So you've got to have the vision, to have the foresight to see where things are going. So let's fast forward to where we're at right now. Nu Skin's been successful, one of the most successful companies of its kind around the world. No one will argue that point. Okay. Now here we sit now, and you say, where are we sitting right now? Well, we've been through a lot, you and I, over the last 3 or 4 years. The world's been through a lot. And I think if I was to come to you 4 or 5 years ago and talk to you about what we were going to go through, you would have never believed it. Okay. Locking people in their homes, sequestering people, masks on everybody. No one can hug each other. No one can visit each other. You can't go to funerals or whatever. Now, as I say this, I know that was a tough time for some of us. My own mother was hospitalized, with COVID. And so I get it. But I'm talking to you about business. Now, what does it mean? We didn't control that. That came to us how it came to us. What's the end result? The end result is it's now triggering a global recession. Every country in the world is now going through a struggle, and it's going to deepen. It's dark out there. It's going to get darker. Okay. Did you and I do that? No. Forces larger than us did. And so here we sit, and I look at that and I connect the dots based off of my experience. I'm looking backwards now, and I'm saying, you know what? I remember the 80s when I started this. It was kind of dark then. Now it's dark all over the world. It's going to get even worse. What does that mean? Displacement. People don't have the opportunities they did 4 or 5 years ago. Okay. Entrepreneurs are looking for us. You know why? Because it's narrowed as far as opportunity for the average person out there. And so what's now occurring is people are looking for opportunity. Well, what do we have to offer? Well, for the last 3 years, our company's been busy. They've been out there building the business behind the scenes. We took our computing to the cloud. Our lead distributor with the company, Craig Bryson, had a brainchild, and he worked together with Ryan Napierski, our CEO, and Steve Hatchett, second in command at Nu Skin. And those guys created this narrative. And what they did is they've now taken Craig's brainchild, which was artificial intelligence is going to take over the world, whether we like it or not. Okay. We can position in front of that and be part of a first mover advantage, or we can trail it. That's real simple. And what they're saying is that the shift from the economy we are today to where it's going to be when it's AI driven is a $15 trillion shift. That's the low number. Okay. Now, if we just use the low number, you know what that means? That's a larger shift than it was when we shifted to the Industrial Revolution. So if you're on this call today looking for opportunity, I'm going to assure you one thing. You're probably never going to see another $15 trillion shift in your lifetime. I know I won't. Okay. When's that going to happen again? Okay. More importantly, when are you going to be involved with a company that understands that and is positioned in front of it? So these guys have gone through and they've done some things here. Okay. What they've now instituted, they put in place is they did a tech upgrade with AI capability, is we've changed the dynamic. And I remember when we were planning this 3 years ago, our CEO said to us, he says, you know what, looking where we're headed. And at that time, people were thinking, what are you guys doing? Why, what? You're going to transform this company. You're going to look more like Apple in a few years than you will like Nu Skin. You're going to become a tech company that happens to sell personal care products instead of a personal care company that's going to be involved in technology. You're going to redefine not only who you are, but what the industry will look like. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And there were some naysayers. And here we are on the brink of launch. And people are saying, oh my gosh, talk about foresight, talk about vision. Guys, I remember Ryan saying companies that are not AI capable will be out of business within 3 years. That was 3 years ago. There's 10 companies in our industry right now, all 500 million to $1 billion companies that are circling the drain. There's some anchors in our industry that are so riddled with debt, they may not make it either. Okay. And here we sit, the most lucrative network marketing publicly traded company on earth. We've got the balance sheet, the financial capabilities that others don't, and we're sitting as pretty as just about anyone can be. And here we are. And what's going to happen, they're going to turn this thing on. Okay, what they've been doing for the last 3 years is writing algorithms, getting everything done. Right now, that stuff's all done, and they're now navigating the legalities for the privacy issues. They're getting all the I's dotted and T's crossed as we speak. We're not waiting for it. Okay, we're innovators, we're early adopters. We're leaking the story. Okay, now our CEO actually did a Zoom a couple of weeks ago and started to talk about what we're doing. So it's getting out on the street. But we've been leaking it for a couple of months, trying to let people know that, hey, this is coming. And why am I telling you this now? I'm telling you this now, roll the clock back like I did with Thailand. I'm letting you know about the opening before it happened. And you know what I found with that? Those that took action with me back then changed their life. Some of the best top leaders in Nu Skin today are Southeast Asians. They came into the business before the market even opened and positioned. And what did they do? They built an army before the thing got turned on. So what I'm telling you is this, I'm tipping you off. This is like an insider stock tip. This thing's going to go from small to big. The masses don't know about it yet, and you can position before they do. And what would we do? Well, if I was recruiting Wen today, would get her on board, and the goal would be to build Wen's organization as big as we can between now and the time they turn this on. Possibly in the next 12 months is what we're looking at, right? And so the goal here would be to get Wen to Blue Diamond or Team Elite, and several of our leaders saying, build this big organization. Why? Because when we turn this on, the world changes in the push of a button. And here's what it's going to look like. Right now, you come on board, you're building your organization with the great products we've always had. And Nu Skin is famous for those. All right. When we turn it on, the business is going to look a lot different. Okay. First of all, it's going to be driven from the palm of your hand. It's going to be driven, really through apps. We have an app called Vera that'll be the portal of the company. We have it right now. You want to download it. It'll be upgraded by the time we turn this on. And that app will be your inroad into the company. You won't call them anymore. You won't do anything. You'll just go through that app. And you know what? That app will be so functional that you put your finger on it. There's a share portion. You send it. And as soon as you send that out and someone activates it, they become part of your organization as a customer or distributor. Okay. So it authenticates. It's right there. It's as easy as in sending an app out. I think that app will go viral. And so the land race is on. Whoever can get that app in the hands of people and get them, locked into their organization, here we go. Now what'll happen? Okay, well, Nu Skin's doing lots of things. And as I talk about this, don't think we're a one-trick pony. Okay, when I talk about DNA, we're not a one-trick pony. We have all kinds of biomarkers we can measure, all kinds of things, technological advancement, the non-invasive measure. Okay, the DNA biomarker. Okay, so let's say here we are. We build this army under Wen, and a year from now, we recruit Eugene. Okay, Eugene comes on board. We send him a video. Maybe it's a short video of what you're seeing right here. He sees it. He already knows AI is taking over the world anyway. We talk about our investment over $500 million into this business and what we've done and where we're heading. And we want to cut him in on the profits. And he comes on board. Okay. We then next send him the Vera app. He clicks into it. Boom. It opens up. He orders his assessment for DNA. Okay. As we get his DNA, all of a sudden it goes into the system. Now, here's what I want you to understand. We have built an AI brain. It's built. It's called Mia, my intelligent assistant, okay? And Mia has a female voice. I have heard Mia's voice. Now, you all know what ChatGPT is. If you don't, you will. It's like Google with a brain, and it can converse with you, and the more interactive you get with it, the smarter it gets, just like a human being would if it went to college and learned a lot of things. It gets smarter and smarter and smarter. In fact, Mia is smarter than any human being on this call right now. And it'll get smarter as time goes on. And what Mia now does is it becomes the seller of the product. Mia becomes the trainer of the organization. Mia understands every nuance about the business. Okay, so we bring on Eugene. He orders his assessment. DNA goes in. It comes back. And Mia gets on the phone with him. Okay, through a text, as everything's right through the cell phone, right? And so it starts to talk to Eugene. And what it talks about is we've created this digital twin for you, Eugene. And boom, up pops this 360-degree image. And this image is the perfect Eugene based off of his DNA makeup and some other biomarkers we can check, by the way, with gut, cognitive. There's other things we'll have where we can monitor things. You're going to see a device called the Wellness Spa that'll be out shortly. And it's a body spa that actually helps to, move impurities, through the lymph system, reduce pain, body contouring, with cellulite and all that. Is unbelievable. But it's a body mapping device. As we run that over, it starts to give us feedback on this. We have a Lumi IO, which is a facial spa that does the same thing. These are IO capable. They feed back into Mia, all this information. So as we gather DNA, we got other things I can't talk about right now that'll measure the gut and other things. All of this technological advance that now feeds everything about Eugene back into Mia. And so as it does that, this digital twin, Mia says, Eugene, here's your digital twin. This is the perfect you. Here's you today. We see deficiency here, 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 here. And we recommend, based off of those deficiencies in our assessment, okay, that you can purchase these products to fill these voids to create the perfect Eugene. Now, what does that do? First of all, from a consumer perspective, we've gathered all of his information. We've now got all his information here. We've got his digital twin. We'll do subsequent assessments to see improvement. So Eugene can see that our products actually do something, because maybe he started here, then he's here, then he's here, now he's here. And it gets better and better. And so now all of a sudden we've got Eugene as a captive audience, as a consumer, because why would he go anyplace else? We've just shown him some unbelievable improvement. And we've brought him to where he should be genetically, right? And the beauty of the whole thing here, guys, if you've ever done our type of business before, who sold the product? Mia did. Who conversed and talked to him about the information that it collected? Mia did. Now, let's say that he wants to become a distributor. Let's say he has a question about the compensation plan, or let's say he wants to understand the best way to go out there and grow his business. Well, myself and Wen are there as resources, but he's going to talk to Mia. Now, why would you talk to Mia, and why would you duplicate with Mia? Here's why you would do that. Because Mia doesn't have to change diapers. Mia doesn't have to eat. Mia doesn't go on vacation. Mia doesn't sleep. Mia doesn't take time off, doesn't need vacations. Mia doesn't need anything that a human would need. Mia is there 24/7 to grow your business. And what do you and I do? We're just feeding people into the system as we send out, okay, the Vera app and capture business. Now, on top of all that, and these great products we have and the benefit to Eugene, we also know that the world population is shrinking. And because it's shrinking, you better figure a mechanism to capture more dollars from your consumers than maybe you have in the past. What if I told you, and they're already in place right now, but I can't tell you who they are. We've got 6,000 consumer goods with brand name companies that you already buy from right now. And I'm not talking about new skin stuff. That's a whole different product category. I'm talking about stuff you're buying from, clothing to sporting goods to you name it. All right. What if I told you, instead of going to like Amazon, which I think it's a foregone conclusion, I don't think anyone questions the efficacy of Amazon or e-commerce anymore. Amazon owns the world. You don't believe me? Go into the mall. What happened to the mall? Everyone's buying electronically, and COVID sealed the deal as everyone was cocooned and bought there. What if I told you you don't have to go there anymore, but you could go through your porthole, okay? And you could buy pretty much anything you wanted through that portal electronically. And the difference is you're going to get commissioned on all of it. Think about what I just talked about. You and I are out there sharing the opportunity right now in front of a gigantic wave that's coming, because once we turn this on, millions of DNA assessments will flood the market, because everyone wants to know what's going on with their whole genetic makeup. They all do. And so we're going to gather that information, and boom, it flows out there. And then Mia gets on contact, and it drags product into the market as it shows them what they lack and what they need. Okay, and they come on board, and all of a sudden Mia takes over if they want to do the business and helps to train and orchestrate. You know what? Mia can even tell us what the likelihood of what Eugene's capability might be as far as becoming a blue diamond or team elite in the business. It can tell us that. It could tell us at some point in the journey along the way if he's going to be able to hit his volumes that month or not, so we can take evasive action to build him before he finds himself at a shortage at month end. See, what I'm talking to you about is something you've never heard about before, because it's never existed before. And because you got Mia at the helm, you got us feeding people into the system, you got all these products that now come in an Amazon type business into your purview. And now all of a sudden you've got your hands on everything. And what you've really created here, you guys, is a 24-hour-a-day money-making transaction machine. And because of the capabilities of Mia and electronic e-commerce and all of that stuff, it transacts on a global scale. See, we're in over 50 markets around the world right now. So as you lay this foundation in front of this wave and it slams into it, and what you lay now between now and the time they turn this on, you heard Wen talk about a 10 timesing effect. Why would she say that? The reason she's saying that is because the time is not created equal. The time right now is the best time to be involved if you're an innovator, an entrepreneur. Okay, and I'm losing my mind here. If you're early in the game, all right, that's the time to be involved. Why? Because the masses are going to move. Like when I'm out recruiting people right now, if they don't see it, I'm not worried. I don't want them in right now because they don't see the vision. I'm looking for the visionary. They come on board, we go. We start building. We're building their organization. I know the 85% will come later. That's where the wave is, all right? So we're going to lay that foundation in place, bam. And all of a sudden, here comes the masses. But we've got the mechanism set up. It's set up right now. We just have to navigate, the privacy issues, and they're going to turn this thing on. Guys, I'm telling you what, the story I just told you has never been told before because it couldn't be told before. Okay, it takes a $700 million investment to get in the game with us. I'm looking at our competitors, if you want to call them that. They're borrowing money to pay their commissions right now. They're not going to be around. We're going to scoop them all up, and we're going to pancake the market because we can, because we have foresight, and we looked into the future when everyone else was running scared. And here we sit light years ahead of any would-be competition. And like I said before, I remember sitting down with Steve Hatchett, second in command at Newskin, just a couple of weeks ago. And I said, Steve, as I connect the dots on this, within just a couple of years, we're going to look more like Apple than what Newskin looks like today. He says, you're right. And he says, this is interesting. And he quoted something from Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple. And you know what he said? He says, when it's all said and done, okay, our contribution to mankind will not be iPhones, iPads, and Mac computers. It'll be the effect we can have on health. Apple's moving our way. We're moving their way. Here's another side note. The company that we've brought on board that will have an ongoing relationship, the one that upgraded our AI capability, is the same company that upgraded Apple's, same company that upgraded Nike. They select one company to have a long-term relationship with in a certain market. Ours is the health and wellness segment. You know what that means? There's not another network marketing company that'll inhabit that space. Guys, if you've ever been looking for an opportunity to go out there and crush it, this is it. You looking for an opportunity to change your life? I'll be bold enough to tell you this. You will never find another opportunity like this again. You know why? Because you can't go back and recreate the last 3 to 4 years of hell that rained down on earth. Couldn't do it. Last time it happened was over 100 years ago. And now we're looking at the reverberating effects. And we're going to go into a deep recession. And guess what? We're counterintuitive. You know what that means? When the masses experience pain, we grow. You know why? Because they look for other opportunity. I remember sitting down with a few guys a couple of weeks ago. They said, we're going to do this. And I said, I have a question for you. If I came to you 4 years ago with New Skin, would you guys do this? They said, we wouldn't even talk to you, but we're going to do this now. Guys, I'm telling you, the race is on. If you've been looking for an opportunity, this is it. It's ready to go, other than the privacy issues. I don't care when they turn it on. If it's on in 12 months, great. If it's 18 months, that's even better. It gives me more time to pre-position, but it's coming. And so here's this, and I'm going to close with this. We've got a diminishing asset, and it's this opportunity window. Here we are right now at this moment. Here we are when we turn it on, let's say 12 months, and I'm ballparking that. We'll have a date, at some point, right? The time between here and here, not all times created equal. Any work and foundation you lay between now and then, as this, because here's what's happening right now. People are watching this all over the world. It's going to get recorded, and people will have it. They'll be sent it around. People are looking at it. They're getting involved, getting in product, qualifying, building a team, and bang, all of a sudden we launch, boom, multiples come our way. When it says 10 times in effect, I say at least, right? Because you're positioned in front of that wave, and it goes bam into the marketplace. Mia takes over, and your life changes forever. But you got to take action now. Now, if you're not seeing this right now, you're saying, I think I'll wait. That's fine. We need someone to be in the wave. We need someone to be in the wave that impacts the rest of us. So you can do that. But you're hearing about it right now. I would take action now because I've seen this before. Look, I'm not doing a hypothetical on you here. I have lived this before. I've been doing this for 35 years, and it's changed my life because I'm a visionary. I can see it before it happens. Hopefully you see it. I've done my best to paint a picture for you. Guys, this is life-changing. Now, is it a guaranteed thing? No. You're going to have to take action and work your guts out like there's no tomorrow, because honestly, there's not. Here we sit, really. You can't recreate the scenario that's been behind us. I've just laid out a vision of where we're headed. Here's my catch-all, and then I'm done with this portion. And I say this to people. Show me somewhere else there's an upside bigger than what I just described to you, where there's a $15 shift. We spend $700 million. We're positioned in front of it. You can profit from it because we're cutting you in on the benefits. Show me somewhere else you can get a better return for the investment here, which is like almost nothing. Crickets. There's nothing out there like this. There's no one in our industry that can even hold a candle to this story because they can't tell this story. We don't look like anybody else out there. We've redefined who we are, and we've changed the whole industry in the process. You might not recognize it right now, but you will. Come launch, you will. We'll steamroll everything. So now's the time. We hope you join us. Get back with whoever showed you this. They can show you how to get started. And man, turn it up. Let's roll.